morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Coalition partners to resume meeting today. Parties to discuss electoral alliance for the local polls. UML Chair Oli says Nepal's economy is similar to Sri Lanka crisis. The former Prime Minister warns Nepal of becoming a failed state. CPN-UML tells government to revoke its decision to suspend NRB governor. The main opposition party warns of economic collapse if corrective measures is not taken. Russian missiles hit airport in Ukrainian city. 5 people injured in the incident. And Manchester City retained their 1-point lead. City play a classic draw against Liverpool in Premier League. And now the news in detail. The five-party ruling alliance is all set to resume their meeting to forge an electoral alliance. The coalition partners have called a meeting for 9 a.m. today to discuss cooperation for the upcoming election and other contemporary issues. Earlier, the coalition partners meeting yesterday agreed to help Nepali Congress lead elections in 3 metropolitan cities. The local level elections preparations, mobilization and monitoring committee meeting of the ruling parties proposed NC to elect mayors in Kathmandu, Lalitpur and Biratnagar metropolitan cities. The meeting also urged NC to withdraw their candidates in Bharatpur, Pokhara and Birganj and back coalition partners in those cities. Following the meeting, the ruling parties issued a statement saying that they had agreed to move ahead by forging electoral alliance for the upcoming election at provincial and district levels. The CPN Unified Socialist has formed a 1,111-member main election mobilization committee. The committee, chaired by party chairperson Madhav Kumar Nepal, was formed in view of upcoming local level election on May 13. The meeting of the Central Secretariat of the party formed the committee comprising members and office bearers from party Central Committee, Central Commissions, Central Advisory Council and Senior Communist Forum. Similarly, an 11-member election mobilization Central Secretariat coordinated by Party General Secretary Dr. Beduram Bhusal has been also formed. A list of criteria has been set for the eligibility of the candidates to vie in the upcoming elections from the party. Procedure for recommending the candidates has been determined according to the CPN Unified Socialist. The Ward Committee has to recommend candidates within April 13, while candidates should be recommended by Municipal Committee within April 15. Similarly, the District Committee should recommend candidates within April 17, Province Committee and April 19 and Central Committee within April 19. Former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has warned that the country's economy is heading towards the path of Sri Lanka. Speaking at a program in the capital yesterday, the CPN-UML chairman warned that his country's economy was facing inevitable crisis like that of neighboring Sri Lanka. He said that it would not be surprised if government employees stop receiving salary and senior citizens are deprived of their allowance in the near future. Even when the country is facing existential crisis, Oli said that the coalition government is happy that it has unseated the UML government. He claimed that the UML was waiting for elections just as a plant eagerly awaits for the spring season to blossom. UML chair Oli accused the incumbent government of running the country's economy. He added that the country was heading towards a failed state. Home Minister Balkrishna Kant has urged transport entrepreneurs not to change excessive fares to the passenger. He requested the transport entrepreneurs to immediately end the compulsion for travellers to pay different rates to travel to the same destination. Inaugurating the 6th General Convention of the Federation of Nepalese National Transport Entrepreneurs Association in Kathmandu yesterday, Home Minister Khan urged the transport entrepreneurs to make sure that the commuters are not overburdened by the hike in transportation fare. He also stressed on the need to advance the transportation sector with the use of modern technology. He added that the government was ready to make laws and formulate policy in this regard. Home Minister Khan also said that the government has taken the issue of security of all kinds of investment seriously. Similarly, Minister for Physical Infrastructures and Transport Renu Kumari Yadav urged the transport entrepreneurs to use vehicles that are in good condition. She said that many lives have been lost due to brake failures of vehicles and said such vehicles need to be banned. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 3 new cases of COVID-19 across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 592. After 48 people recovered from the disease, so far a total of 978,571 people have tested positive for the virus in Nepal, while 965,847 people have already recovered. No new death from the virus was reported yesterday. The death toll from the virus remains constant at 11,951. Nepal is currently among top 61 countries affected by coronavirus. USA tops the list with 82.06 million cases, followed by India with 43.03 confirmed cases. The virus has infected more than 498.96 million people worldwide and has claimed over 6.20 million lives. There has been significant growth of internal tourists in the religious pilgrim site of Muktinath in Mustang district. The number of devotees as well as the tourists has increased in Muktinath with a decline in risk of coronavirus. Muktinath was seen crowded with internal tourists on the occasion of Chaitra and also for the upcoming Nepalese New Year. Muktinath temple is visited every year by a large number of people, especially during the festivals of Chaitra Dasai, Bada Dasai and also during the new moon day for religious ceremonies. The locals have observed significant rise in internal as well as external tourists this year. Muktinath temple, situated in the Mustang district of Nepal, is regarded as an equally important religious site as Badrinath and Kedarnath of India. There is a belief among Hindus that pilgrims have to visit Muktinath once in a lifetime to achieve nirvana. It is also believed the spirits of the dead relatives will attain salvation if the Muktinath temple is visited after performing the rites of dead relatives at Kagbeni.
हाम्रो नेपालको तीर्थयात्रा चाहिँ पहिलो प्राथमिकता मुख्य बाबुलाई दिनु पर्ने रहेछ भन्ने चाहिँ मलाई महसुस भयो। मैले आएर दर्शन गरिसकेपछि मन एकदम प्रफुल्ल भयो, उत्साह बढेर आइरहेको छ।
त्यो भूमि पवित्र हो। त्यो भूमिमा प्रवेश गरे पनि मान्छेले धेरै दुःख कष्टहरू चाहिँ मुक्ति पाउँछन् र त्यो जहाँसुकै गए पनि अन्तिममा भगवान् मुक्तिनाथको दर्शन नगरिकन मोक्ष नमिल्ने भएको हुनाले भगवान् धेरै महत्त्व छ। नजिकको तीर्थ हेला भने जस्तै हुन्छ। हामी अन्यत्र भारतको तीर्थहरूमा गएर यहीँको शिलाको दर्शन गरेर आउने चलन छ। उहाँ नजानु भन्ने चाहिँ होइन, तर मुक्तिनाथ छोडेर अन्यत्र गएर मुक्तिनाथ नआउने गर्नुभएको छ भने त्यसलाई चाहिँ एकदमै नबिर्सिनु होला।
According to the folklore, the 108 water springs in the temple is prosperation of Lord Vishnu. It is believed that bathing in these springs helps in purification of the soul. The modern structure of the temple was built in 1815 AD. It is also believed that Padmasambha, a major Buddhist spiritual leaders, meditated here before traveling to Tibet, due to which it is also an important pilgrimage destination among the Buddhists. The temple is worshipped by both Hindus as well as Buddhists. CPN-UML has warned the government to immediately withdraw the suspension of Nepal Rashtra Bank's government Mahaprasad Adhikari. On Sunday, UML organized a press conference on the current economic crisis of the country and warned the government to withdraw the action taken against the central bank's governor. Former finance minister affiliated to the CPN-UML on Sunday made their views public on the current economic status and the wrong steps taken by the finance minister. UML vice chairman and former finance minister Vishnu Paudel demanded that the government should immediately revoke the decision of suspending the NRB governor. The former finance minister strongly criticized the government's move to cover up the failure of incumbent finance minister, which includes failure to fulfill the vested interest of his business groups, inability to control the economy, and due to calls from within the coalition government for removing the finance minister.
सरकारको गलत हस्तक्षेपलाई अस्वीकार गरेका कारणले गर्दा सरकारका गलत नीतिहरूलाई अस्वीकार गरेका कारणले गर्दा सरकारलाई सच्याउनका निम्ति बारम्बार दबाब दिएका कारणले गर्दा आज राष्ट्र बैंकको गभर्नरलाई के भनेदेखि पदमुक्त गर्नका निम्ति एउटा स्पष्टीकरणको चाहिँ गलत अभ्यास गरिएको छ। यदि हामीले अब सार्थक हस्तक्षेप गरेनौं भनेदेखि र समस्या समाधानका निम्ति सकारात्मक पहल गरेनौँ भनेदेखि हामीलाई जस्तो कि अहिले चर्चा हुने गरेको छ श्रीलङ्का हुनबाट कसैले रोक्न सक्ने छैन।
At present, the general public is unaware of how deep the economic crisis has become in Nepal. However, those familiar with the matter warned that the government had set a wrong precedent by suspending the governor and warned that the economy would collapse if it did not make immediate action. They argued that suspending the governor at the time of formulating the budget and monetary policy would create further confusion over the already troubled economy.
अहिले जुन खालको एउटा स्थिति देखा पर्दैछ यो वर्षभरिमा जाँदाखेरिमा डबल डिजिटमा चाहिँ इन्फ्लेसन पनि हुन सक्ने खतरा देखिँदैछ। एकातिर पैसाको डिपोजिट घटिरहेको छ, अर्कोतर्फ चाहिँ यसतर्फ सरकारको कुनै चिन्ता छैन। यो चिन्ता जाहेर गरेर राष्ट्र बैंकको तर्फबाट कमसेकम पनि अलिकति रेस्ट्रिक्टिभ मेजर गर्ने, त्यसको नेतृत्व गर्ने गभर्नरलाई अहिले सस्पेन्ड गर्ने जुन काम गरेको छ बडो सन्देहास्पद। आकाशमा एउटा बादल मडारिरहेको, इकोनोमी यतातिर यस्तो ढङ्गले गइरहेको।
According to the Nepal Rashtra Bank Act 2058, the governor of Rashtra Bank cannot be suspended unless he is involved in grave mistakes. Earlier, when the Nepali Congress government had suspended 2 governors, the court had ruled in favor of the governors.
पहिलेका 2टा गभर्नरहरू यसैगरी कारबाहीमा गरिएको थियो र उहाँहरू इज्जत साथ अदालतको निर्णयबाट फर्केर आउनुभएको छ। 2058 सालको नेपाल राष्ट्र बैंकको ऐनपछि केन्द्रीय बैंकको गभर्नरलाई स्वायत्त मात्रै होइन जिम्मेवार पनि बनाइएको छ र त्यो जिम्मेवार निकायलाई गभर्नरले निकै ठुलो अक्षम्य अपराध नगरुन्जेल उसलाई कुनै कारबाही हुने स्थिति रहँदैन र गम्भीर अपराध गरेको रहेछ भने पनि त्यो कुरा कानुनसम्म ढङ्गले अघि बढ्नुपर्छ र यो सरकार सङ्कट उन्मुख अर्थतन्त्रलाई बचाउने भन्दा गठबन्धन जोगाउने र सत्ताको दुरुपयोग गरी निज स्वार्थ पूर्ति गर्नेमा तल्लिन्छ।
The finance minister's decision to take action against the governor of an autonomous body at such crucial period only displays the finance minister's incompetence. The Nepal Bankers Association, an umbrella body of chief executive officers of commercial banks, has decided not to issue letters of credit for the import of essential goods except in case of extremely needed ones. The association's meeting on Sunday took a decision to this effect, a report. The banks have agreed not to open LCs to import luxurious goods like vehicles, gold, silver, as well as sugar, chewing gum, dry foods, furniture, cigarettes, alcohol, perfume, and mobile phones, among others. According to Chief Executive Officer of the Nepal Bank Limited, Krishna Bahadur Adhikari, who is also a member of the association's executive committee, the commercial banks took such decisions following a directive from the Nepal Rashtra Bank in this regard. Earlier, the central bank, in a bid to stop the outflow of the country's depleting foreign exchange reserve, had imposed 50 to 100% cash margin on the import of 47 different goods. Likewise, the central bank had recently summoned the CEOs of all 27 commercial banks and directed them to halt LC to import luxurious goods, including vehicles. The banks have been following the direction of the central bank. Meanwhile, the meeting of NBA also decided not to increase the interest rate for the month of Baisakh, which runs from mid-April to mid-May. With this, the interest rate would be within 11.03%. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Russian missiles destroyed an airport in the Ukrainian city of Dnipro and 5 emergency workers were injured in the attack. There has been another attack on Dnipro airport. There is nothing left of it, Valentin, governor of the central region, said on Sunday. The airport itself and the infrastructures around it have been destroyed. Rockets keep flying and flying, Renchenko said on Telegram. A missile also hit a building in the city's Pavlov district, and emergency workers were combining through an infrastructure facility that was hit in the town of Donetsky. The Rechenko said attacks on Dnipro city, which lies on the banks of the Dnieper River, intensified on Sunday. The industrial city of 1 million people has been targeted by Russian forces since the invasion, but has so far been spared major destruction. Separately, the head of Dnipro Region Council, Mykola Lahashuk, says 5 staffers of the State Emergency Service had been wounded by the strike on the airport, as reported by Al Jazeera. Pakistan opposition politician Shehbaz Sharif has submitted his nomination to be the country's next Prime Minister. The younger brother of 3 times Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, 70-year-old Shehbaz led the opposition efforts in parliament that eventually toppled now from former Prime Minister Imran Khan. After submitting his nomination to the legislature on Sunday, Shehbaz said Khan's departure was a chance for a new beginning in Pakistan. A new dawn has started. This alliance will rebuild Pakistan, Shehbaz told Parliament on Sunday. His first task will be to repair relations with the powerful military as well as the United States and tend to the flattering economy. Khan said antagonized the US throughout his tenure, welcoming the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan last year and more recently accusing Washington of being behind the attempt of removing him. Khan's party has also nominated the former foreign prime minister as a prime ministerial candidate. The first Pakistani prime minister to be removed by a no-confidence vote, Khan has launched on the almost a week after a united opposition first tried to remove him. On Sunday, he repeated allegations that the foreign conspiracy was behind a conspiracy of regime change in Pakistan. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Manchester City retained their slender 1-point advantage at the top of the Premier League as they fought out a classic draw with closest rival Liverpool at Etihad Stadium. The meeting between the country's 2 outstanding sides lived up to its pre-match billing, and in the end there was nothing to separate them, with the destination of the title still hanging in the balance with 7 games remaining. City flew out of the blocks to take an early lead through Kevin De Bruyne's deflected strike, but Liverpool were quickly on terms when Diogo Jota turned home a Trent Alexander-Arnold pass. Pep Guardiola's side dominated a magnificent first 45 but failed to convert a host of chances before Gabriel Jesus stole in behind Alexander-Arnold to restore their lead from Joao Cancelo's cross 9 minutes before the break. Liverpool had been strangely nervous but came out rejuvenated after the restart, equalizing with Sadio Mane celebrated his 30th birthday by scoring from Mohamed Salah's perfect pass in the 47th minute. Raheem Sterling had a goal ruled out for upside as both sides pressed for the winner in the superb match, with City substitute Riyad Mahrez wasting a chance to win in the dying seconds as he lifted his finish over the top. Nepal have climbed 1 spot in the new T20I World Ranking published by the International Cricket Council. Nepal are ranked 12 in this month's T20I ranking published by the ICC on Sunday. Nepal improved in the T20I ranking after winning the triangular series involving Papua New Guinea and Malaysia last week. Nepal won all 5 matches in the triangular series held at the home turf. Nepal have won 9 out of the last 10 T20I matches. Earlier, during the ICC T20 World Cup qualifiers held in Oman 2 months ago, Nepal had won 4 out of their 5 matches. Nepal had won all 3 group stage matches but lost the semi-final against the UAE before winning the 3rd place playoff against Oman. According to the ICC, Nepal garnered 48 points from 32 matches with a rating of 181. India lead the T20I World Rankings, followed by England, Pakistan and New Zealand. Nepal are ahead of the UAE 13th, Scotland 14th and Ireland 15th. Nepal are 18th in the ODI World Ranking. New Zealand are top of the ODI ranking while Australia lead the Test rankings. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Coalition partners to resume meeting today, parties to discuss electoral alliance for the local polls. Janata Oli says Nepal's economy is similar to Sri Lanka crisis. The former Prime Minister warns Nepal of becoming a failed state. CP and UML tells government to revoke its decision to suspend NRB governor. The main opposition party warns of economic collapse if corrective measures is not taken. Dozen missiles hit airport in Ukrainian city, 5 people injured in the incident. And Manchester City retained their 1-point lead. City play a classic draw against Liverpool in Premier League. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.